What is something that disappeared after the pandemic? Most stores not doing 24 hours anymore. So many gyms closed. The hours at fast food places change depending if they have staff now. 24-hour Walmart. Ex-Walmart employee here. They did this because stocking is the most important thing at night. They absolutely hate interruptions. They would teach us how to avoid people to get our jobs done. Walmart saw productivity skyrocket on nights. No longer are the first few hours of night shift slaloming around customers and having to help people with mundane questions because they can't read the aisle contents on the signs. They also don't have to deal with stupid and high people coming in at 2 a.m. asking to buy live fish and shit, which no one can do unless you are trained to do it. Stalkers aren't trained to do that. Which means only the one manager at night can do it. I legit had to argue with a guy when I was stocking pets one night, because him and his girlfriend wanted a goldfish at 3 a.m. I had to explain that pets isn't my department, that it's just the aisle I was given for the night. I explained you had to be trained. Guy got all pissed and called me a lazy loser, so I rapped off that I'm not the motherfucker who has nothing better to do than buy a fucking goldfish at 3 a.m. Retail made me hate people. McDonald's all-day breakfast and salads. Ex-employee from McDonald's. They were planning on stopping all-day breakfast for a long time. They just used the pandemic for an excuse. There were two main reasons I was told for this. 1. They were wasting a lot of food because not a lot people ordered breakfast at night. 2. Most people ate breakfast inside, and with the pandemic, that decreased the target audience of McDonald's. Housekeeping at hotels. On that note, I love how the rooms have to sit empty after someone uses them. The amount of rooms I've checked into super early is wonderful. Checked in at 8:30 a.m. a couple weeks ago to a completely spotless room. A couple of locally owned restaurants I enjoyed in my town didn't survive COVID. Rip the one Indian food place within 100 miles. My good excuse for overindulging my introversion. Spatial awareness. I swear when I go to a busy store these days, it's nearly impossible to get around people to look at anything. Or they just stand in the middle of the aisle. Dumb people who block up the aisles and walk super slow right in the middle are 99% of the reason we order groceries to our doorstep now. I don't know how people shop so leisurely. I want out of there ASAP. Physical restaurant menus. Dude, we need to bring them back. I love technology, but menus on our phones is not one of them. About 75% of public transportation. So many services cut on the grounds that nobody was using them, because we were in lockdowns, that have not resumed even after most people have been dragged back to their physical workplace. My friend group. Haha, I left all social media except LinkedIn, no WhatsApp, no Insta, no FB, now I chat with strangers on Reddit. TBH, I went through graduation and all that stuff plus 1 year of school beforehand when COVID and quarantine hit. I drifted out of with a lot of my friends and ended up pretty lonely. Only made me realize I was just a last choice pick or backup to a lot of the people I knew. COVID helped me realize I was just an accessory to a lot of people. Although things are difficult now, I now have a silver lining of having met much better and kinder people through the internet, and feel I can be much more honest, open and trusting with them. It's a process. But I hope for both of us when this all blows over and the world is at peace again, that we come out the other side with healthy support systems, and people we can really count on. To you and all the others that have been tanked by loneliness from COVID, good luck. Heart. My hope for humanity. I honestly don't remember if it was like that before too, but people seem more patient and tolerant before lockdowns. It's also the pressure of the current world bearing down on everyone. Me eating at a restaurant. Pre-pandemic it was easy to get a meal for $10. Now that same meal costs $20 or more, with the tip also doubling. The hell if I'm going to waste that amount of money. Bunch of people's grandparents. People's ability to reason with one another. The facade of public education. It's been cracked at the foundation since NCLB, but the pandemic totally exposed the catastrophic shitshow that it is today. Source. I'm a public educator. The soldier on. Go to work even if you're sick for the good of the business mentality that a lot of managers actively encouraged. My workplace now sends out health and safety emails reminding people not to come to work if they're sick. Even if they don't have COVID, they should stay home and either rest or WFH if they feel well enough. Supplantation, sweet tomatoes. This one hurts so bad. At the time my 8-year-old was really getting his buffet feet under himself and absolutely loved sweet tomatoes. He could get his endless mac and cheese along with chocolate mousse, and mom and dad could take the healthy approach and make ourselves 6,000 calorie salads. Those were the days. All the hobbies we picked up during lockdown. I have picked up so many non-social hobbies and stuck with them so well that I don't even have a social life anymore. I'm basically either at work or home alone doing stuff. Dating. I struggle to connect with strangers post-pandemic. Everyone just feels off. A lot of people's trust in the system. Free samples at grocery stores. Any belief I had that a huge portion of the population wasn't dumb. Kids' social skills. The freshmen coming into my student society for the past 2 summers behave like a bunch of 16-year-olds while they are 18 to 19 years old on average. This is not just me getting older. I'm an eternal student, so I've seen plenty of freshman groups come in over the years, and there's definitely something different about these kids from the past 2 summers. I've heard 2 unrelated teachers from different school districts say that all of the kids were not only held back academically, but also mentally. Imagine trying to teach 3rd grade, but all of the students act like 1st graders. It's been challenging at every level of development. Imagine a kid who was in kindergarten in March of 2020. They were having play-based learning when school stopped. They struggled through virtual school, which is not at all how young children learn. Then the first time they're back in the classroom, they're expected to stop playing and sit quietly at their desks. My sense of joy about the world. At 33, all I feel is an empty, sad, uneasy feeling every morning when I wake up. I moved across the country with my girlfriend to a small mountain town, but even looking at the vastness of nature out here just leaves me sad. My paycheck. Hopefully going to work even though you don't feel well. Still no decent sick days system. That's not going anywhere. My outgoingness. I think the lack of interacting face-to-face with people has made me a lot more introverted. People caring about Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing and Tiger King really defined that time period for me. My friends disappeared. During pandemic, my friends in the whole world went on lockdown. We stopped visiting each other for our own safety. Since it's been over, 90% of my good friends have decided to not return me to their lives. Choices, reasonable prices, and the ability to haggle when purchasing a car. People in my space, back the fuck up please. Greater than people in my space. I thought Facebook killed that long before the pandemic. And #X200B, I'll show myself out. Jehovah Witness door knockers. Life pro tip. Tell them you've been to fellowship and they will never come to your place again. In my neighborhood it is holiday decorations. I have several neighbors that never put out their Halloween decorations. When I asked 2 of them, they said they were just not into it anymore. Last Christmas was the same. We bought a new house right before the lockdown hit. We haven't had a single trick-or-treater in the new house. We didn't bother decorating this year. It's bumming me out. We used to live in the neighborhood. Kids from the other side of town would drive over to trick-or-treat our neighborhood, and we were the scary house that older siblings would warn their siblings about. I would spend time rigging up drop scares and stuff and sit inside the door triggering them, or wear a costume and prowl through the yard. It was fun. The new place, nothing. Seems like everyone does the trunk or treat kind of stuff now. I honestly think this has more to do with the rise of alternative trick-or-treating in school gyms and parking lots, because people are so convinced pedos are waiting around every corner and under every sewer grate to snatch children away. Hot dog steamers at convenience stores in Maine. I'm not familiar with these. Are they similar to Cleveland steamers? The high bar for customer service, in some places. Post-pandemic, some establishments, mainly hotels and government offices like Social Security and the DMV, continue to ride the wave of COVID protocols because it makes work easier for them, not because the protocols are still logical. Confidence in society's response to any sort of national emergency. City market salad bar. Buffets and salad bars at restaurants. Hopes and dreams.